Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is warning Iran and its Lebanese proxy Hezbollah of Israel's red lines on the buildup of militant forces to its north. Netanyahu toured the military's Northern Command headquarters along with Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Tuesday, striking a defiant tone despite the relatively quiet period on the border. The premier, back in power after a year in the opposition, threatened that Israel would jog the memories of enemies as to what its policies are. Meanwhile, the IDF is preparing to hold an artillery drill on a contested hill on the border with Lebanon and Syria. And joining me now in studio is our defense correspondent, Jonathan Regev. Jonathan, how will Netanyahu's tactic to deter Iran's entrenchment on its northern border differ to that of Bennett?
I'm not sure it differs a lot. More of the same. During the previous Netanyahu era and during the days of Bennett and Lapid, it was pretty much the same. Constant action against Iranian entrenchment in Syria. Constant actions. It's not as if there were less actions during less raids during the days of Bennett and Lapid compared with the previous Netanyahu days, and I don't think we'll see any change now. Constant action against that Iranian entrenchment and threats, at least heightened rhetoric when it comes to Hezbollah. Let's remember the northern border with Lebanon has been almost completely quiet for 16 and a half years now, an unprecedented amount of time on one hand. On the other hand, Hezbollah is right there with all the Iranian assistance, with the numbers of some 150,000 rockets aimed at every corner of the state of Israel, so that the threat is still there. I think that this mutual deterrence, which has been working since 2006, is still there. Hezbollah is well aware of the fact that a future war with Israel will not only basically bring Hezbollah to its end, but also might bring the state of Lebanon decades and decades backwards. While that is true, Israel has to understand, Israel accepts the fact that Hezbollah has the ability to bring plenty of damage to Israel. Therefore, that mutual deterrence seems to be working, regardless of the question of if the Prime Minister is Netanyahu, Bennett, Lapid, or anyone else.
And speaking of mutual deterrence, I want to ask you about the United States and their stance when it comes to Iran. We know that Jake Sullivan will be paying a visit to Israel in the next few weeks, and he basically said that the Iran deal is not top priority now, and they want to come to Israel to discuss Iran. Do you expect the United States to veer closer to Israel's stance when it comes to Iran?
Maybe, but
militarily, I mean.
Let's remember that the United States and Israel, at least for now, they see closer on the Iranian stance, but they differ on many issues, especially now with the new government. So the United States may find this as a point of pressure on Israel, telling the Israelis, you don't want to deal with Iran. You put a lot of pressure on us and on Western nations not to get closer to a deal with Iran. This seems to be the case. Now come closer to us, maybe in the West Bank, towards the Palestinians, two-state solution. That may be nice, but with the current government, with ministers like Itamar Ben-Gvir, like Bezalel Smotrich, these are moves that the Israeli government will find it difficult to do. Therefore, it's a very sensitive game. But yes, at least when it comes to the Iran deal, Israel and the United States currently see much closer than they did a few months ago.
How concerned is the IDF of a potential attack from the north?
Always. It may always happen, and not necessarily because Hezbollah or anyone else in Lebanon may want to bring the border into a full-on escalation, but maybe there's some kind of operation which spills into something far bigger, which may ignite a war. It's something that may always happen. The Northern Front is always the top priority for Israel. It was true for the last 15 years, and it's true now.